I'm sorry for this whole thing with Luke.
Twitter has a lot to say about Luke P after Monday night's episode. So if you watched last night's episode of The Bachelorette, then you know there was apparently a guy named Devin on the show. John Paul Jones ruined a PA's day, and Luke P is still full of shiitake mushrooms were not a part of last night's Men Tell All, but there sure were a lot of chicken nuggets. Speaking of nuggets, last night's episode was basically the Luke P show once again, which thankfully Hannah Brown canceled. Finally.
I'm tired of talking about him. Chris, are you tired of talking about him?
Amen.
Are y'all tired of talking about him? Yeah. The Luke P show is canceled. We will not renew.
But let's back up a second. So in the beginning of the episode, we picked up where we left off last week, you know, when Luke P shows up, even though he was already kicked off, stands next to the other guys for the rose ceremony, even though he was already kicked off, and then proceeds to tell Hannah she needs to hear him out, even though he was already kicked off. Unsurprisingly, Hannah reminds him that he shouldn't be there and tells him he needs to leave, but he wouldn't take no for an answer for like 15 minutes.
Luke, when someone says no, it means no.
Hannah couldn't have made it more clear she didn't want him there. I mean, at one point, the girl literally picked up the rose stand and moved it so Luke P wasn't in front of it.
Oh my God, well, all right.
But still, he just wasn't getting it. Finally, after the 30th time of her telling him she truly does not want him there, he left and we got straight into the the Men Tell All episode. During Men Tell All, Luke P was interviewed by Chris Harrison and took approximately the length of an entire episode to answer a single question. For instance, when he was asked the very hard question, are you looking for a woman to put in a glass case and then pull down when you need her, he really had to think about it.
Just give me a second, Chris, okay?
Don't worry, I'll save us some time and tell you that after 2 hours of thinking about it, Luke P did eventually decide that no, that's not what he's looking for. Well, you guys, after Luke P's appearance on the show and disappearance, because at one point he literally just left, people on Twitter had a lot to say about, well, everything. Like this user who wrote, quote, Luke P trying to explain himself with this office gif that says, sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. Then there was this user who tweeted, quote, me listening to Luke P talk along with these pics of Connor and Mike, which, by the way, same. Then, of course, there was this educational tweet that I truly hope Luke sees that says, quote, I think someone needs to share this with Luke P, along with the definition of gaslight, which is to manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Sounds familiar. And lastly, one of my favorite tweets is this one here that says, Luke P struggling to answer these interview questions like, along with this meme of SpongeBob going through files such as, let me be clear, misogyny, blaming Hannah, and straight up ignoring the question, just to name a few. But on that note, you guys, that is all I have to share with you right now. Make sure to let me know down in the comments what you thought of last night's episode and what do you think is going to happen from here. Once you're done with that, make sure to hit the bell and the subscribe button because we have an entire Luke P free finale next week and I couldn't be more excited, even though Jed is unfortunately still there. As always, I'm your self-proclaimed Bachelor expert, Renee Ariel. Follow me on socials at Renee Ariel, and I'll see you guys next time.